everybody. Welcome to You Have to Watch This Podcast, Game of Thrones edition. I'm Alan.
And I'm Devon.
And before we dive into this week's episode, there's something we need to talk about from last week. Something that we didn't see, we didn't catch, but the internet did.
Guys, we messed up.
We messed up bad. If we had been the ones to find it, we would have been a lot better for the show down the line. But hey, it is what it is. But
Alan, we would have been heroes. I know what this is.
Yeah. We totally missed the coffee cup.
Yep. Can't believe I missed it.
It's become such a meme and part of pop culture that I feel like we have to address it before we get into this loaded episode from this week.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, this isn't even the first coffee cup on this show.
It isn't?
No, there's a scene where Jaime Lannister's holding a coffee cup in an earlier season.
Is that real?
I thought it was real. I thought I remember something about it.
I thought that was fake. Maybe it is real.
Oh, maybe it's fake and I'm just a dum-dum. But like, fine. Like, this coffee cup made me so happy because it was just there. It was so obvious.
Well, it's not now, and that's what sucks. Like,
did they edit it out?
They edited it out. Like later in the week. They were cool about it though, because they gave their response of that latte in the scene was a mistake. Daenerys ordered an herbal tea. That was the official response. And then
good job.
And then Sophie Turner was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and because there's a picture of her going around holding a coffee cup like that. And
God.
It was hers. She's like, no, it was Amelia's. Like, it was definitely her. Like, it was right there in front of her. Come on. So
I love that.
At least they're having fun with it.
Good. Which that's the only way to lean into it. You know what
exactly.
I mean? Or the only way to do it is to lean into it.
Exactly. Okay. So, penultimate episode.
Oh boy. We got a lot to talk about.
We're going to be here a while.
Well, not only that. Okay. Yeah. We have a lot to talk about.
You know, you had something you wanted to say. Go right ahead. Then we're going to get into spoilers right away because there's no way we can't.
No, we can't be coy about this. So I've been reading a lot about Game of Thrones, like in the past couple of weeks, like fan reactions, people reactions, stuff like that. I feel like the way that you and I are interpreting the season, or at least are appreciating the season, is very different from how other people are. And I do want to at least address that when we start bringing up some of the things, because I was watching parts of this episode going, all right, that's cool. I get that. And then going, yeah, but what's the internet going to say? And like, that's kind of ruined some of my opinion on some of the shit in the show.
Yeah, I definitely have the same reaction too, because like even just looking at their initial reaction to this episode, there are things the internet's loved, and there's things the internet's like, oh, really? This is what we waited 10 years for.
All right, so fun fact: I literally stopped watching the show 8 seconds ago, so I haven't gotten to see any internet reactions yet. So I'm curious to hear what like initial responses from the World Wide Web. Through the filter of Alan once we get to those things.
Yes. It sucks that we live in an age where the internet is going to react poorly to anything.
Well, just anything in general. And I think like the naysayers of the internet end up getting more like, not green, but like more like attention than the people that are like, oh, I thought it was really well done. Great job.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of good things going on in this episode. There's a lot of things that are cringeworthy, but I think they're meant to be cringeworthy.
I'm curious. I didn't cringe too much.
I just sagged my head down at a certain point, like, oh no, this is happening, isn't it? Okay.
All right. Well, let's walk through the episode then. Like, let's go like beat by beat. So, Episode started with Varys, right?
With Varys doing Varys, like,
yeah,
the spider sending out his webs.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I figured based on how last episode worked. Like, good for him. He's doing it.
Yeah, he's all in at this point. He's sending out ravens, so I'm sure there's going to be a big payoff to that next season next episode when everyone knows Jon's secret. Because it's not
he's spreading that shit. Like, he knows what's going to happen. Like Varys.
Yeah,
he saw it.
He called it last week. He said it's no longer a secret; it's information.
Yes.
So,
and I think he knew it was going to happen to him.
My favorite moment with him in this episode, though, was before his execution. And he just says, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, but like,
I hope I deserve this.
I'm gonna be real weird about this. That was a sadder death for me than the one last week.
Then Missandre?
Massandre, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit sadder.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot more to his care. We saw a lot more of him. Like, he's been around since the first season. She didn't come in until season 3.
Right.
And even then, when it's her stuff was mostly with Grey Worm and not so much with Daenerys. Like, she was
Like they were friends. Like, you definitely knew that they liked each other.
Yeah, she was just kind of there.
Right.
Where Varys is like pulling strings and having confrontations with everyone in King's Landing and saving Tyrion. So
I was thinking about it. Are there, now that we already talked about first death, are there more major deaths in this episode than in Battle of Winterfell? I think yes.
I think, definitely.
Definitely.
Comparing the battles, I enjoyed this one so much more.
Holy shit, me too.
Because you not only could you see what was going on, but you could see what was going on. Like, you could see what was going on Jon's face, like just his reaction to everything going on around him.
Yep.
And they did it. We'll get into the battle later.
Yeah.
Because I do have a lot of thoughts.
Good. Okay, so after Varys,
let's stay with Varys for a second, because they did something very cool that I liked with this episode. So when they take him out to his execution at night, and it's just everyone out by torches, I was like, I know what's going to happen. That dragon's going to pop out from behind her, isn't he?
Oh, and called it.
And his head just came out slowly. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a cool shot, though.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you use the dark. Like, that's how you effectively use the dragons and keep your CGI budget down for that shot.
There was a lot of really good shots this episode, though.
Yeah. I need to look and see.
Like, we'll talk about more when we get to them, but like, there were some real good ones.
Yeah. Do we have a name for this episode yet?
I don't think so. Let me see. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Oh, the Bells.
The Bells? That makes sense. I like that name a lot.
Okay, so after Varys,
next is Tyrion, right?
Yes. She goes to talk. Wait, what do you mean by Tyrion?
Doesn't he talk to Daenerys next?
Yes.
That was really a vague topic. He does a lot with this episode.
Yeah. He talks to her about Varys.
She's distraught, and I like who she's blaming for a lot of it, though. I like that she blames it on Jon.
Because in a way, it is his fault. Like, he should have never told Sansa. Sansa would have never told Tyrion. But that's not who Jon is. Like, the one thing they've done very well this season is kept Jon who he is.
Yes, absolutely. Now, this is part of what the internet has been bringing up a lot, is are they keeping Daenerys who she is while watching her go the way that she's going? Because the internet says that, like, I feel like there is a little bit of whiplash, because she is made up to be this amazing character, this like freer of freed people, like this awesome hero, and then now she's just losing her fucking shit.
I think she's gone through so much trauma in the last few episodes that it's changing her.
I can see that.
I don't think it's that they're just changing her to change her. I think she's going through a lot of stuff. And Varys even said the Targaryens, like, the gods flip a coin. It's what they're known to be. So it's got to be something genetic too. So I think
it has to be. Yeah. I
think it's something deep down inside of her, because even if you watch the post show thing with the D&D where they talk about like the episode, they talk about when her brother died and got the golden crown. Yeah. And her reaction to that, like, her brother was an ass, but she felt no remorse towards it at all.
That's true.
So
I guess there are threads of this then.
Yeah, it's always been there. Like when Jorah betrayed her, like, she like she didn't kill him, but she sent him away. Like that was the
Like right away.
That
Like
was the
no
nicest
remorse.
thing. Yeah, nicest thing she could have done. Like the nicest way possible.
Right.
Like she has 3 dragons then, so she didn't use them on him. She sent him on his way.
Yeah.
But she had all these people around her helping guide her through everything. And now that she's where she wants to be, she doesn't have that guidance anymore. So she's going off the rails.
Right.
So I think her arc makes perfect sense. It's heartbreaking, and it might seem a little bit rushed. I understand that aspect of the internet complaining about it, but I'm okay with it.
I think a lot of people are emotionally invested into her character, and they saw her as the ultimate good guy of the show.
I think they did too. And like Ramsey Bolton said, this doesn't have a happy ending.
Right. And I don't think it's supposed to, especially for a lot of how these characters ended this episode.
Yes. Okay. So I really thought when Dany was talking to Tyrion after she's been in exile for so long, I thought that's when they were going to reveal that she was pregnant.
You think so?
I thought they were going to, but they didn't.
No, I mean, that would have been interesting, though. I didn't even think about that. I just thought she was all
That's
upset.
one thing that everyone on the internet was wrong about, including us for this season. Like she's
right, because we said she'd be pregnant.
Yeah, she's not pregnant with John's baby. So
that's okay.
Yeah. But I really liked how they made her look like she's losing it. Like if you could just just her hair. And like Emilia Clarke dyed her hair for this season. I think it's mostly for this episode.
Oh, did she really dye her hair?
She's worn a wig every other season, but this season she actually dyed it.
Wow, so, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like interviews for the last year when she was doing like solo press, like she was blonde, and that's why.
Wow.
So, but they did a really good job of showing her like in this bad Howard Hughes type state. So,
good way to describe that. So then after that was, I forget what happened after their talk.
She talks to John.
Oh yeah, that talk. That was a good talk.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Grey Worm and the necklace thing that he throws in the fire?
Sure.
I think Grey Worm is just as gone as she is. Like,
you think so?
I think they're each other's rocks right now, and they're both like sliding downhill.
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, especially when it happens later in the episode. Like he's just like, I'm on her side unequivocally. It's like, stop it.
Yeah. So the John and Dany scene in this one, he's pretty much said that the way I took that scene is he doesn't want a relationship anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically how it is. Like, yeah, they kissed, but he like wasn't super into it. And she was like, well, it's hate then, or like fear then. But like, I mean, I think he's pretty much done with her. Like, I think that he is now more afraid of her. I think too many people have warned against her that like, I think he's with her, like not like sexually or anything, but like, I think like she's still his queen, but he's like, this isn't going to be anything else. Like, that's how I took that scene.
Yeah, that definitely fits the character too.
Yeah. Like he'll be loyal to a fault, but like he won't do any more than he has to now.
Yeah. Okay, so pretty much after that, it's the battle.
You're forgetting one of my favorite scenes.
Oh, which scene's that?
Where Peter Dinklage Tyrion lets Jaime out.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm talking about them getting to King's Landing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not talking about that yet?
No, I was like they get to King's Landing. So
okay, here's where I'm a dum-dum and help me with this. So Arya and the Hound go down south. Like the second the Battle of Winterfell's over, they're like, we're out of here. They don't wait for parties. They don't wait for anything. They're the first to leave. Jaime leaves after everyone else does. So his timing of everything makes sense. How are those two, so Arya and the Hound, how do they make it there after the army does? Is that another weird, like, I guess Daenerys just travels faster than everyone else thing? Or like, did I miss something?
I don't know if they left before the armies. I think they left around the same time.
Okay, then that would make more sense.
Yeah, and they make a point of saying that Jamie tried to get around them, so he was taking like shortcuts.
Yeah,
So
but he got
and,
caught.
Yeah, and the reason he got caught is so fucking stupid.
How did he get caught?
They saw his hand, his golden hand.
Sorry, I'm making a face for those of you that can't see my face in this audio-only podcast. That's annoying. I missed that detail. Damn it.
I mean, it's kind of funny because it adds to the conversation between Tyrion and Jamie, which is at the heart of the show. Like, that's one of those relationships that's always been solid, and it was nice to have it. I could tell in that scene one of them was not making it out of this.
That was my favorite scene in the whole episode, though. Damn it. Like, Tyrion's literally risking everything in that scene because he knows how to do this without bloodshed. He's giving his brother a chance, and he's literally trading his life for that. Like, the stakes are sky high for him. Yeah,
we'll put it. We'll have to come back to that then. But that scene is their submission for the Emmys this year.
Oh, absolutely, it is.
Unless Peter Dinklage has something else in the finale, which who knows, he might.
Right.
But the two of them, like, that was my favorite scene in this episode too. Like, the dialogue there was just fantastic. There's a lot of moments going forward in this episode that we'll get to that I really enjoyed, but that scene as a whole was the heart of this show. Like, those character connections. And there's another moment later on that we'll talk about with other people that's kind of the same thing, but a lot quicker. So
I like that they do that. I like that they take these characters, they put them in these crazy overblown situations that are like, how did we get here from episode 1? But then they bring it all back around and they're like, look, it's still these two people. Here's still how they feel about each other. That hasn't changed.
Yeah. And I also like that it's a callback. Like, when we first really got to know Jaime Lannister, he was a prisoner.
Yeah.
So it was a nice little callback to the earlier seasons.
It really was, yeah.
Okay. So the siege of King's Landing.
Yeah. I forget how it starts.
It starts with everyone just standing around waiting for dragons to show up. And then Dragon shows up and takes out all the ships. The Iron Fleet.
All right. Was this the cringy part for you?
No. Was this the cringy part for you?
A little bit. So if Fleet was able to take out a dragon last time and like was so like intense with their arrows that they were able to like make her flee last time, was Dragon just better at dragoning this time? And like that's just how she was able to take the whole fleet down? Like, I guess she did the kamikaze, or not the kamikaze, the like Japanese zero thing and flew out from the sun. Like, cool. But was that enough? Like,
I think the difference between her attacking and them attacking was she was prepared this time. Before, she got cocky. She wasn't expecting the Iron Fleet to be there. Yeah. They shot it out. They shot her dragons out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So they had the element of surprise. This time they knew she was coming. She knew they were there. So she was able to be focused in and take out certain ships and zigzag pretty much. Like, I'm pretty sure it was just that she had a strategy going in there and it worked.
I think you're right. And she flew lower, and like you can tell they all had that, like, at least on the tower, they had them all pointed up and not as down as she was. Yeah. So like that part definitely made sense. I just think she was like, must have been like more in the zone or something.
Going back to the scene from last week, I saw something online where somebody recut it so that it made more sense. And instead of which dragon was it?
It was Viserys, right?
Whatever dragon died last week. I can't keep track. Or Rhaegar. Right. Yeah, it was Rhaegar. Whenever Rhaegar gets shot, instead of it just coming out of nowhere, you actually see the Iron Fleet come in and like shoot and miss, and then like you see them,
and then it took its shot.
Yeah, you get to
that
see
makes so much more sense than like magical hidden fleet.
I liked it a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the surprise element was just to like gut punch you, and it's like, I don't need, like, we just got through the Battle of Winterfell. We don't need another gut punch.
Right. And I agree. And I think that that's one of the bigger things the internet's mad about is that like Daenerys should have seen the fleet. They're just boats in the water. Like, they're not like hidden or anything. Like, that shouldn't have been that much of a surprise.
Exactly. Okay, so then she takes out the Iron Fleet. Euron escapes. Ugh. And then,
Right. Okay. Was that a cringy part for you too?
a little bit, but I think we got some payoff with it down the road.
We did.
And she takes out the, what are they called? Scorpions on the wall?
The scorpions on the parapets.
Yeah.
And then she takes out the friggin' front door.
That I was not expecting.
I liked that scene and that like series of events a lot.
The Golden Company was completely useless. Like I love that Cersei just wasted her money. If they had those elephants though, they might have stood a chance, but since they didn't have the elephants,
not even a little bit.
Yeah, so then it's just bloodshed. Like it's like it's like Mustafar in episode 3. Like it's just crazy.
I had a problem with it that was bugging me the whole time. It was really cool. I really loved it, but Tyrion had let Jaime out like that night. Why did it take him until they started attacking to start working through the city? Like, did he wait? Did he because my assumption was that the camp that he freed Jaime from was like the outside of the city. He should have just snuck in.
I don't know.
That was like the one part that I'm like, what was taking him so long?
I think it was like early morning when he did that.
Okay.
So I think that might be it.
Sure, because what I thought Tyrion's plan was to let Jaime into the city. Jaime convinces Cersei to leave with him, and then they leave in the morning and ring the bells first thing in the morning. And I thought that was it. So then like the second Daenerys starts like laying waste to things, I went, well, Peter Dinklage is going to die and it's not going to mean anything. And like that part bothered me because I wanted his plan to work because he risked so much for it.
Yeah, I don't know what the holdup was. I think it's just because you had so many people going into the city. Like, and that city's pretty big. So you had all these people going into the city and then going into the Red Keep for safety. Like, it was just hard. Like, he almost got in.
Yeah.
Like, I feel if he had left like 5 minutes earlier, if he hadn't stopped at Starbucks.
That was it. He stopped at Starbucks. But yeah, the battle was cool. You could really tell what was going on. You could tell tactically where everyone was at. Like, it was what you wanted.
I had a bad feeling going into it that it was going to turn a certain way. And I only felt that way because of the music. So there was a theme that they played at the end of season 6 when Daenerys is on the boats coming and the dragons are flying overhead. That theme was playing here, but I don't know if it was just in a minor key or it struck a minor chord, but it just fell off. I was like, this isn't going to go well. Something bad is about to happen.
And oh boy, does something happen.
Yeah. So
how do we feel about the something that happened?
Well, okay. Before we get to that, because that's gonna be the bulk of this episode.
Yeah,
we need to talk about Cersei. This whole battle.
Okay.
And how she is in complete denial about everything.
Oh yeah.
Completely. Like she's completely convinced that they're going to win this, and they've already lost.
Oh yeah, like while the city was burning, and what was his name, Kyvern or something? The Maester was like, all the scorpions are done. There's still a dragon. What are you gonna do? She's like, don't worry, the Red Keep's never fire. It's like you're in trouble. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I just love that they kept Cersei's character Cersei until the very end. Like
yes, absolutely.
Then she just sheds one tear when she knows that she's done.
Okay. She was at her most Cersei in this episode.
She really was. Like, this is the most I've liked her. And that might be just because I knew where it was going. So
you could probably tell. I mean, you could tell.
Yeah. It was pretty obvious she wasn't making out of this episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
So big twist.
So Daenerys sitting on the wall on the dragon with the bells.
They ring the bells because they surrendered. Bells. Everyone surrendered.
And she just looks at the Red Keep and is like, that's my house. And just like, fuck you. And just destroys King's Landing.
Everything. All of it. Civilians and people that just surrendered and friggin' King's Landing and the Red Keep.
Yeah. And Grey Worm is with her. Like, he's attacking the Lannister armies who have dropped their swords. And there's a moment where he looks back at John, who's trying to stop his men from fighting. So I think that's going to come back and bite John in the ass.
I thought he was going to take a swing at John and John was going to kill him. Like, that was how, like, mean the look was.
Yeah, I don't... There's a lot that's going to have to be paid off in the next episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My favorite shot, though, was when Grey Worm started attacking, because Daenerys started attacking, Grey Worm took it as a cue, started attacking people that just surrendered, and you see the whole army of Unsullied except for Jon and Davos. They're just standing there. Which, like, fuck yeah, Davos. Best character.
Yeah. I saw, like, speaking of internet reactions, I saw one that was Jon to Davos' episode. Did we just become the bad guys?
I mean, basically.
Yeah, basically. Like, Daenerys has gone full Mad Queen at this point. Like, she
absolutely has.
She's just fire everywhere. And
now, how did this fit with her character? Because we talked a little bit about, like, her turning a little bit paranoid. I can see paranoid. Her turning a little bit, like, angry and a little bit, like, you know, vengeful and a little bit like, well, screw you, Jon Snow. People are going to fear me. Fits with character for the most part. This is the clearest cut where the show writers now go, you do not root for her for the first time in the whole series. She is not who you're cheering for.
I think you're cheering for her up until that moment. I think that moment is meant to be heartbreaking.
I think so.
And goddamn did it work. Like, it's such a turn. Like, seeing Tyrion's reaction and Jon's reaction, and she's just gone.
Yep.
I'm curious to see where she's at in the next episode.
Yeah, and what was interesting was Romana watched this whole episode with me. And she goes, I hate Daenerys. What a really terrible person. I can't imagine anyone ever having liked her. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, up until a certain point, they made her this really great, really awesome character.
I think if you go back and listen to the lyrics to that Jenny of Oldstone song, I'm pretty sure it's about Daenerys.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
The one she had lost and the one she had found, the ones who had loved her the most. Yeah. Like, I think it's just going to be like, that's the ending of the show. Like, her, like, losing everything to get what she wanted.
Interesting. Now, all right, prediction time. Will she get what she wanted?
She has the throne.
There's no throne. There's nothing. Like,
well, we never saw the throne get destroyed.
But like, she'll be in rubble sitting on this chair. Like, all right.
Well, if you
no one else
if you look back at the when she's in that house of dreams and has that hallucination of Khal Drogo after he's dead. Like, there's a shot in there where she's in the throne room and the roof is gone and there's snow on the ground. So
it was shown snowing in the, like, next episode thing.
Yeah. Which, what? You got
the
really
battle
excited.
hold on, this is super off topic, so please let's finish this topic and then I'll, like, pivot us.
Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking we'll see that next week. She has the throne right now. I don't know how long she keeps it. She at least has it.
It can't be long, especially with who they were setting up at the end. But we're not there. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so battle-y talk.
Yes.
One thing that struck me about the battle, I went, I guess all the Dothraki aren't dead now.
I think they said they lost half the Dothraki.
Oh, okay. I think I missed where they said that and just assumed they were all dead.
Yeah, I feel like the Night King was like, "Hey Thanos, what's your strategy again?" Okay, half. I got you.
Half got it.
Yeah, I think that was just a quick line when they were planning in Winterfell. Like,
that makes sense.
Half the Unsullied, half the Dothraki.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your other thread?
That was my other thread.
Oh, okay.
That was it. So then after she attacks, I think next big scene is Jaime and Euron, right?
Yes, let's talk about Jaime and Euron.
That was fun.
It was fun. It was nice little... It's a nice little, like, Maury daytime TV fight action in the middle of Game of Thrones. I was glad to see Euron get his. Like, I'm glad that Jaime was able to actually kill him.
Mm-hmm. I like that he called himself the king like the whole time.
Yeah, he was so delusional. Like he really thought that the baby was his.
That was so interesting. Like that he was just like, I'm a king. You killed another king. It's like, did you though?
And then at the very end's like, I'm the guy who killed Jaime Lannister, and he just dies alone, and nobody will know.
Right, but also he wasn't the guy that killed Jaime Lannister.
I mean, he would have died anyway. Like eventually.
That part's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun little moment. That wasn't my favorite mano-a-mano fight in this episode, though.
No,
and
definitely not.
We need to talk about this because it's been building for 8 years.
Yes, it is.
The Clegane Bowl. Hound versus Mountain. They finally delivered.
Excuse you, Hound versus Anakin.
Hound versus Shrek.
All right, let's talk about it. How did you feel about what they did with his face?
I was like, okay, take your helmet off and fight. Like, come on, like let's just see it. You've been hiding it this whole time. I like that they made it part of the battle that he just knocks off the helmet.
Yeah,
I liked it. Like it wasn't.
No, I think it was cool,
spectacular. It was really cool. They've been building for this fight for so long, and it was nice to actually get that payoff. But even before that, like just the Hound and Arya getting into King's Landing was fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I like that he turned her away.
Yes, that's the other small moment that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Where he's just like, you need to go. Like, revenge only will you're not making out here alive. Like, you got to go. You can't follow me anymore.
I mean, and that was so true though. Like, she wouldn't have gotten out alive. Like, and she needed to have run away. Like, she did the right thing.
And then she's like, "Hey, thank you." And he does the stop and turn. Like that's such a cliche. It was like, oh, that's a little bit cringy, but I'm gonna take it like that.
Oh, is that the cringy part?
That was just like that was cliche. That was a big cliche. Like Cinema Sins will add like 10 sins for that.
I mean, maybe, but it was still nice. Like that relationship needed a wrap up. That was the wrap up.
Yes,
great.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of wrapping up these relationships in this show this season. Unless your name is Ghost.
Or if your name's what a good boy. Didn't get any pets. But also if your name's Brienne, because that still makes me real sad.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we talk like you were under the impression that he was going to kill her, right?
Yeah, that actually was a big thing because I was very wrong about that. Sorry, listeners. But like, yeah, I don't think I love this.
I'm very upset with how they ended his story. Like that he just goes back to her. Which I guess makes sense. Like he had his moment with Brienne, which everyone wanted. And I don't think it was fan service. I think he was just a conflicted character. I think he really did love his sister. And I think more than that, he loved the child that she was carrying.
I think that might have been it at the heart of it. I think he loved their children like she did.
Yeah. And I think that this was going to be his one chance to actually be a father and not just an uncle. Like he could, like, I think he held on to that hope too much. And I think that's what did him in.
I can get behind that. I don't think I love the whole, well, I've had Brienne, whatever, back to Cersei again. Like, and I think there's going to be a couple of people online that reduce it to that. Is like, they take the Brienne storyline and be like, well, it's just fan service. And I think I'm with you. I don't think it was.
I don't think it was. I can see how, like, there's a lot of things that they're doing in this season that can be seen as fan service, but I don't think they are. I can see the argument for it, but I don't buy it. Yeah. Okay.
How did you like who won at the Battle of the Cleganes?
I loved it. Did
you?
I loved everything about that fight.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. They like the Mountain tried to do his signature eyeball pokey move. Like the Mountain gets stabbed in the head and is mostly okay. And I also like that in the end they both die. I like that there was no good that would come from that feud and no good came from it.
I think they both knew they were going. Like I think he knew going into it he was going to die. I think it's very significant that he sacrifices himself to kill his brother and does it with fire. Like the fact that he hates fire so much and pushes him through this wall and just down to a fiery death.
Yep.
Oh man, I love that scene so much. Like if there's any fights that I go back and rewatch from this, it's that.
It's gonna be that one. That's a good one.
And I really liked the parts where they intercut it with Arya trying to run through King's Landing.
Yes. That was really cool too, because it made that whole thing seem very dire and very desperate.
Yeah.
Which it was, but like it really grounded the episode, I think.
It really did. It kept you like they showed that mother and her child through a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, who's this going to be? Like, this is going to either be important down the line, or they're going to be someone. And then they were just kind of there and like somebody for Arya to latch onto. And like, they saved me, and now I have to save them. Yep. And ultimately, she can't. Like,
yeah,
it's just heartbreaking. Like,
it is. They have that like whole like they really like the gratuitous shot of them being burnt on the ground, and like you just watch Arya break.
Yeah, I think that's when she puts Daenerys at the top of her list.
I think Daenerys is the only one on her list now.
I think so. Hey, everyone else is dead.
That's true. That's true. We lost so many this episode. All right, so we skipped over a part. We skipped over Jaime and Cersei dying.
Yes, well, I was just about to get to that.
Yeah. So they basically, the Hound let Cersei walk past, which like fine. He never really gave a shit. And that's the ultimate I don't give a shit.
He even even when he approaches them, he's like, "Your Grace." Like he's even like he just doesn't give a fuck about anything going on around him. Yeah, so they go into the tunnels to escape, and their tunnel is collapsed in. And Cersei just starts losing it. Like I want my child to live. And Jaime's like, okay, we're going to die now. But
right.
Like he knows exactly what's going on. And he just holds his sister,
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Baby mama sister.
Ew. All of it's bad.
Yeah. So they die. But I don't know if anyone knows that they die.
I feel like they don't. I mean, maybe like next episode, like, we found him in the rubble, but like, they're dead.
I mean, they were already under the castle
right.
to begin with. So I think Tyrion knows what their plan was. So if he knows that those tunnels are collapsed and he sees that the boat is still there, then he'll know.
Then he probably knows.
Yeah.
But it was a good character moment. It was taking him back to like who they were. Literally, season 1, episode 1. Like, for as weird and messed up as it is that they're brother and sister, they're this couple that loves each other almost no matter what.
There's one thing that they did this episode that was a subtle callback, and I don't know if they planned this out or not. But so they killed Cersei on Mother's Day.
Oh, they did kill Cersei on Mother's Day. Weird.
They killed Tywin on Father's Day.
Oh, they're planning this stuff out. Yeah, they're planning that.
They almost have to.
Good job, show creators.
Yeah. Like I had a feeling like going into it just because I saw that on the internet. It's like, oh, hey, who's messaging me? Oh, Ryan, friend of the show.
Oh, yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, they'll probably pay that off. Like, there's no way they don't. So,
right.
I think that's just a fun little factoid. So.
Oh yeah, it is fun. I didn't know that, and like I should have known. Like I should have understood what today was, but like I didn't, and that's funny.
Yeah. Okay, so I have one thing that bugs me about this episode that wasn't really explained, and maybe you picked something up that I didn't.
Tell me.
Okay, so Daenerys is laying waste to the city. City is burning.
Yes.
Why is there wildfire going off?
Yeah, all right. So I don't know, and I thought it was Cersei's contingency plan. I thought she was like, okay, I'm going to set off wildfire if they start taking the city because I'm going to be the only one that rules the city. That's what I thought it was.
That's what I thought too. I thought she was going to blow up the whole city like she did the keep.
Yeah, but I guess not. Like, or like, was it just like pockets of it that she had hidden around just in case?
I don't know. Like, I hope there's an explanation for it, but that's what gets Jon to leave. Like him and Davos, that's what gets them to leave. And they show it a few times, so I don't know if there's going to be a payoff for that or not, but that seemed weird to me that was just kind of there with no one addressing it.
It did, but I am happy that it made Jon leave, because when he left, that was when I thought everybody was like, "Oh, they're gonna blow up the whole city. Let's get out of here."
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay,
I don't know.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
That bothered me too. Now that you bring that up,
maybe there's just a really big candle burning down in the dungeons.
I mean, maybe I'll buy it. Whatever.
Okay, so what did you find cringeworthy in this episode? I know you said you found a few things. Did we cover everything yet?
All right. So I liked the payoff of like Euron Greyjoy fighting with Jaime Lannister. I think the fact that he honestly survived it all and wound up going to shore at exactly that spot at exactly that time was a little too coincidental. And like, I would have been completely fine with, like, have you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean 3? Where like Norrington's walking off the ship and the ship's exploding around him. It's like that iconic stuff. I would have been fine if that happened to Euron. Like if Dragon was blowing up ship and he went down with the ship, I would have been A-okay with that.
Okay.
Because I don't think that him stabbing Jaime in that way, like, or as much as he did a lot to add to the tension of what happened to Jaime ultimately anyway. Like, yeah. I don't think I was like, oh no, all these bricks fell on him and he's stabbed. Now he's super dead. Like, I think his story could have continued on without that interaction.
Yeah, I don't think we needed that. Like, he was going
to
die
neat.
Anyway.
Don't get me wrong. We didn't need it.
I think him bleeding out like that, though, is kind of what makes Cersei break.
I can see that.
Like that.
Where she like knows now it's desperate.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Let me think. All right. This is going to be weird, but Arya hops on a horse at the very end.
Okay.
Horse.
I'm glad we're on the same page. So
okay, good.
They're setting her up to be the winner of this whole thing, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely they are. Like, the internet is unequivocally on her side, and like so is like the showrunners and George R.R. Martin. Like, she's gonna be the hero.
So she's the prince that was promised, you think?
Oh, maybe. She didn't kill the. What color are Daenerys' eyes?
That's what I was thinking too. I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna do the Googling while we talk. But like,
okay,
because they said she's gonna kill Green Eyes, so everyone's like, oh, she's definitely gonna kill Cersei.
And she did not.
No, she didn't. But see, maybe green. I think they're green, based on these pictures. I know they're definitely green. I know according to the lore, they're supposed to be purple, but like that never got brought up in any of the show.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they're even coloring her eyes green a little bit more in these pictures I'm looking at. So, I mean, probably that's her then. But then, is it just gonna be like the Starks rule the world now? Like at the end, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be weird if like the finale of the show is just the setup from the pilot. I have a son, you have a daughter. We will join our houses, and it's just Arya and Gendry on the throne.
That would be funny. Do you think she would do it?
Be on the throne?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think she would become like head of the King's Guard.
I could see that. So who, besides Dany, because we're taking Dany off the table.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be on the throne at the end of next week?
Oh, Jon Snow.
You think it's going to be Jon Snow? Even though
hands down. Like if he's not on there, I will be genuinely shocked.
My money is I don't know. I can see him dying.
Okay.
If he doesn't die, I can see it being him. I can also see it being Tyrion.
That would be cool. I think Tyrion's dead, though.
I don't know.
I think the first thing she's going to do is kill Tyrion next episode. I think she's going to go, you clearly betrayed me. I told you the next time you betrayed me is your last. That was your last.
How did he fail her? Oh, with Jaime?
With letting Jaime go. But she wouldn't know.
Yeah, like Jaime's dead. So...
Yeah, so she wouldn't know. I don't know. Maybe I just want it. I don't know. I don't want it, though, because I like him enough. But I think he'd be a weird king. I think that he would be another really good hand.
Here's the thing, though. Like, is it going to be Sansa on the throne? And Tyrion as the hand?
I think it'll be Sansa it could be. They could
because
be married and then joined.
They made a big deal out of their relationship in the last few episodes.
They really did. And you know what? I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. It's just kind of weird. Like that, maybe that's part of the end game. Is the two of them, like in some way, like working together. I did a thing on Reddit earlier. I was like, who they were asking me who's going to be on the Iron Throne. I said Daenerys, but which I was kind of right. Like she got the throne.
She got it. You were right.
But I really wanted to say no one. Like no one's going to get it. Like it's just going to be gone. They're going to dismantle it.
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
They develop their own form of democracy, and George Bush sits on the presidency throne.
I mean, his head's already in King's Landing, so
I know they already set it up. That's what I like.
The Night King comes back and just brings him back to life.
They're like, all right, it's going to be him. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
But no, overall, great episode. I think things are going fast, but I think they need to be.
Mission accomplished banner over the rubble of King's Landing.
Our country is silly.
Yeah. All right. So you have any plans for the finale?
Yeah. So this is actually the first episode that I don't have improv before.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna go a little bit. I'm gonna blow it out a little bit. I might like mix like a Game of Thrones themed drink and like really just like shut off the world and just do this.
Okay. I think I'm gonna watch it with my sister and her fiance and some friends. I've got a bottle of Mother of Dragons waiting for me for the finale.
Yes.
I almost drank it. I almost opened it tonight for Mother's Day, but I was like, you know what? Something's telling me not to drink for this episode. And I'm glad I didn't.
So next episode is 2 hours?
I don't know. I think next episode is the same length, if maybe a little bit longer than this episode. I'm hoping it's closer to 2 hours because there's a lot that they have to do.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of like tension now that like what happens when Daenerys is gonna land? She's like, my bad, guys, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think all hope is lost for Daenerys. Like,
you don't think so?
I think there's a shimmer of hope, but I don't know if anyone's there is going to be caring enough to actually pull her back into the light.
So when I was first getting started in this whole Game of Thrones thing, especially when I started reading the books, there was this one person I used to work with who would always tell me, she goes, Devon, no matter what you read in the books, no matter what you see on TV, no matter how things look, always trust Daenerys. She always has a plan. She always knows what she's doing. It might not seem like she does, but she always does. What if she does? What if like random ex-coworker of mine like is totally right about all of this and Daenerys has this bigger game that we all don't see yet? But like I've been thinking about that the whole episode, but I don't know what the bigger game is. And I don't know what it could be.
I don't know either. I don't know. I don't want Daenerys. Like, this episode was so heartbreaking for her story. Like, the last 3 episodes happened between losing Jorah and the reveal of Jon's lineage and losing another dragon. And I don't want her to be completely gone, but I want someone to be able to pull her back. But I think the 2 people that could, Jon and Tyrion, I think they're just so dismayed with what happened. I don't know if they have the patience to do it.
I agree. I completely agree. I mean, and that's the thing is if they like don't have the patience and they're like, Daenerys, go fuck yourself. Like they now have to deal with a dragon.
Yeah. I mean, one of them's a Targaryen, so.
Both of them are Targaryens.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out hope. They're both Targaryens.
I mean, hopefully in the books.
I can't wait till like the dragon goes to like fire Tyrion to death and he's like, oh, that's weird. I'm still alive.
Yeah. Next week's gonna be
I was also thinking about that too, because me going into this season was of the mindset, hey, I now will know how Game of Thrones ends. When George R.R. Martin releases his books, I'm not going to care anymore because I know how it ends. I think I'm still going to care. I think the show's rushing it so much that it's actually pushing me towards what the books are going to be.
I think that's how a lot of people feel. I'm sure
Yeah.
George R. R. Martin's like, oh, I guess I got to finish his books now.
He better finish his freaking books.
It would be tragic if he didn't. Like,
it would.
How many more books are there going to be? 2?
I think there could be 2 more.
Okay. I mean, that if he can release the next one in the next year, then he'll be set for life. Like,
right. I mean, if he releases it in the next year and then comes out with the next one before I'm dead, then I'll be happy.
I'm more worried about him getting out before he's dead. So
I am worried about him just giving up and being like, well, clearly this whole thing's up. Because, like, he totally missed, like, the frenzy part of it. Like, if he had released this new book in the middle of, like, season 5, it would have made gangbusters.
Or even in the wait between season 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Like, but I think the fact that the internet's not liking this final season is just going to help the book sales even more.
I completely agree. And that's what I was thinking about.
And that sucks. But do you think next week we go back to Winterfell at all?
Yes, we have to.
Okay.
Because I think Sansa has to react to whatever happens. I think it just has to happen. Like, we have to see what happened to those characters there. Because, like, sure, they're all, like, sitting around Winterfell, but, like, Ghost needs his pets.
I really hope that we get a payoff with Bran. Like, Bran's done nothing this season.
He's been doing the best stank eye of anything this whole season. But yeah, he has done nothing.
Hopefully we get something from him.
I hope so too.
All right. So that's all I've got.
That's all I got, man. I'm pumped for next episode. This was a big one.
This was a big one.
I think I was right last year. I think last episode I was like, I think this one's going to be a battle, and then the next one's going to be the fallout. That's my voice. And I think I was right.
I thought they were going to split it, like stagger it between the two, like have like a cliffhanger here and then have it like pick up. But I'm glad they did this. I'm curious to see what next week's going to be.
I agree, because now they have a lot of time to fill and a lot of stuff to do that's not like, oh, well, they're just going to fight.
I think this is my second favorite episode of the season.
What was the first?
A Night of Seven Kingdoms.
Was that the first one?
The one that's the one before the Battle of Winterfell, where they're all just hanging out and drinking. Like, that one is probably my favorite episode of this whole show. This one,
I agree,
is this my second favorite of this season so far. We'll see how the finale goes.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good. I have enough faith in the showrunners to think this next episode will be good.
There have been very few show finales that I've been dissatisfied with. Like, you and I were together for Lost. Like, we watched that. Like, I like that finale. So
yeah.
And I've actually given up on a TV show. Like,
Which one?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Did you give up on it?
I'm done with it. Like, I did not.
Why?
I did not watch the premiere. Okay, so the main reason I was so invested in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for so long is that it's in the MCU and it's part of this story, and
it runs parallel to what the Avengers movies are doing, right? Like,
exactly.
When Hydra takes over and falls, like, they fall too.
Exactly. So last year they teased, like, hey, stuff's happening in New York in the finale. Like, so they were teasing, like, Infinity War.
Yeah.
Then they took off, like, the show just came back 2 nights ago. So
from like that long.
Yeah. So I was like, oh,
wow.
So they're waiting until after Endgame to like address the stuff that happens there.
Right, because
like
spoilers.
The snap. No, they're not addressing any of it.
What? Are they still pre-Infinity War in their timeline?
No, they're like 1 year after the snap, and they're just not acknowledging it at all.
That's super obnoxious.
Yeah, I'm so like the Netflix stuff. I could live with it not dealing with that.
But I mean, even like Daredevil, like the first season talked about the Battle of New York.
Yeah, and there's so much time between the Battle of New York and like Civil War that I can see that stuff happening in there. But like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been so tied to it, like I just have a hard time. Like if I read that they've addressed it in a way at all, if they address it at all, like maybe they're in an alternate timeline, which is fine. I could take that.
But Spider-Man Homecoming's doing that.
Well, no, even Endgame did that, like the alternate timeline thing where they changed because there was time travel in Shield. So I don't know if I can get an official reason why there's no snap, why there's no dealing with the repercussions of everyone being gone for 5 years and then coming back all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like if I can get an excuse out of that, then I'll go back and watch it. But as of right now, that show ended with me last season. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Agents of Shield.
Yep.
So that's the TV show we're doing next after the Game of Thrones one, then Agents of Shield.
Yeah, we can. That can be a whole nother podcast.
Good.
It'll be very lackluster until like Winter Soldier happens.
Honestly, I couldn't get into it. I tried. It didn't work out for me.
Like the first season is hard to watch. Like they do like a tiny crossover with Thor: The Dark World, and then like
the best movie.
Once, yeah. You know, I really want to go back and rewatch it now since I watched Endgame.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still ambivalent.
But that show is just kind of treading water until they got to Winter Soldier when S.H.I.E.L.D. just disappears and they bring back Hydra.
Right.
Like that's all that show was. Like it was just kind of like we're here, but we can't really do anything until this happens.
Yeah, and then now we can do cool stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And they did get better. Like season 4, I think they brought in Ghost Rider.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which was really cool. That was a cool storyline. And it wasn't Johnny Blaze. It was, I forget it was the one who drives the car.
There's one that drives a car?
Yeah.
Was it Johnny Blaze Nicolas Cage?
Yeah. Johnny Blaze does have a cameo, but it's like his Ghost Rider form, so you don't actually see who it is.
Damn it.
But at one point, Coulson gets the Ghost Rider powers. It's crazy. It's a great arc.
Do they address why Coulson's back alive again?
Yes, that's the whole thing.
Okay, they actually tell you?
Yeah, they tell you.
Okay. Is it satisfying or is it just like...
I kind of want to go back and rewatch it just because they've addressed the Kree more in the MCU as a whole. It has to do with the Kree and like magic and...
That's pretty cool. I'll hold down for that.
Yeah. It's definitely worth checking out up until recently.
Aw.
But yeah. Okay, we're as far away from Game of Thrones.
We've gotten really far off topic here.
Yeah. Okay, so one more episode of Game of Thrones. How you feeling?
I'm pumped. I can't wait. And then I'm going to be sad. Also, secretly, I think Romana's invested. I don't know if that caught up on Mike. I think she's invested because she went, I want to see the next episode now. And I'm like, yeah, start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, you can't start from the beginning and if she watches next week. Like she's going to know how it's going to end. So
she is fine with spoilers. It does not bother her, which I love.
I'm curious if my wife is going to want to watch the finale. Because she doesn't.
I wonder.
She watched the premiere with me, but she didn't really watch anything else. But I've told her what's happened. So I'm curious if she'll want to watch it just for like the pop culture aspect of it.
I mean, that's the thing is it's like a pop culture touchstone at this point. Like it's what everyone's going to be talking about the water cooler tomorrow. Like, oh my God, Daenerys. Like it's just what's going to happen. Like that's what is going to dominate conversation tomorrow. So it's just a thing.
I want you to go up to your water cooler tomorrow. Like, oh my God, Daenerys, blah, 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 blah. And just
I'm going to do it.
Do that exactly.
We have 2 new people starting tomorrow. That's how they're going to introduce to Devon. It's going to be great.
Oh, nice. And then
why not?
Just like plant your flag. Like I am a Daenerys Targaryen supporter all the way.
Oh, I should do that.
Get a red hat that says "Make Westeros great again," and it just has the Targaryen symbol.
Those little like dragons on the side. I should do that.
You've only got 12 hours, so.
All right, here it goes. I've done stupider things in 12 hours.
All right, for you have to watch this podcast, Game of Thrones edition. I'm Alan.
And I'm Devon.
And we'll see you next week.